business coaching because there's lots of noise in the market about what business coaching is and what it can do for you. I also want to talk about what it is that we can do to look at when trying to choose a business consultant, some of the benefits and the results that are coming through, bottom line benefits, because remember I said we don't do fluffy business consulting. And then there's a favor that I've got to ask you towards the end. One of the things about coaching is that it is very interactive. So I'm doing some stuff now, and I've got something to ask you to do later. So let's have a look. What is coaching? Now we know who that is. We know that there is coaches in every single one of these particular pictures. Now, one of the things that we can look at, particularly in Australia, is when we consider super achievers in the sports environment, for example, we look at them and we know that they haven't made the top of their field without a coach, whether they're individual sportsmen or whether they're groups and teams of sports people. But something happens to how we think when it comes to business. So we've got businessmen, and suddenly we think that when businessmen and women have a coach, that actually they're stupid. They're the ones who have a problem that have got to be overcome. And that's one of the things that I really am wanting to talk about today, that business coaching is not necessarily about the businessman who has a problem. We really need to change the way in which we think, because if it's good enough for sports people to be excellent, why is it not good enough for our business people to be excellent? So let's have a look at what business coaching from the business breakthrough coaching perspective is. We've got three axes. The one is that we've got a problem, and people then want to have a solution of some sort. Problems are created because of the way in which we have behaved in the past. Solutions are created by the way in which we choose to change how we behave in the future. There are two ways of doing it. We either ask for help or we get told a solution. Now, what does that mean? If we want to understand the problem and actually ask people what it is, the kinds of people and support that we go to are psychologists and counselors. However, if we are wanting to understand the problem and have somebody tell us what the problem is, who do we go to? We go to analysts, we go to advisors, and we go to consultants. If we want a solution, and we are therefore looking into the future, but we want somebody to tell us what that solution is, we go to training, we go to mentoring. However, if we want to be involved in discovering the solution through the right questions asked in the right order, then what happens is we actually want to learn. We want to usually use our own self-insight, and that's what we call coaching. So if we look at where business breakthrough coaching works, we work in that green space. We're psychologists, we're serious business people, and we're able to both ask and tell, look at the past, and work towards the future. But what is special about business coaching? Business coaching is about taking business owners, people who are responsible for the performance of others, whether they're individuals or in a group, and change the way they think. Because we can't get the same results if we change our thinking. And if we turn that round, we can't get different results if we keep our thinking to be exactly the same. So, business breakthrough coaching, what are we? We're a group of business coaches. And what do? We are exceptional business people. That means that all of the coaches in our coaching team are experienced business people. We've all been directors or senior executives of medium and large organizations. We're also trained to the highest coaching standards. Now, coaching has a whole lot of different meanings, and it's a growing industry, but there are standards that are being consolidated, particularly in Europe, and Australia is following quite fast. What do? We help people break through the barriers to how they think, therefore how they behave, and therefore the solutions that they try and get implemented, either themselves or through their people. So what does that mean? That means that we equip senior managers to create outstanding or deliver outstanding personal and business results, because you don't get one without the other. And what is an exceptional business result? It's a result that exceeds your expectation and those of others. Now, we all know May Brown. May Brown has always said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And of course, those are our habits. That's what we do all the time because we're human beings. So business breakthrough coaching or using a business coach is going to help you reduce some of the insanity. So how do you choose a coach? There are 5 key things that we found over our years of working with coaching clients. The first thing is, of course, you've got to decide, do you want a coach? In other words, do you want to be involved in the solution, or do you want a consultant? Once you've gone through the process of deciding which one of those it is, you've got to have a look at, well, how do you buy that service? Because that is going to determine the result that you get. Those are the first 2 key things that are going to influence whether the person who's going to come and help you provide a solution in the future that's going to be sustainable is going to be the right person for you. Now, there are 3 other elements. It's what is the situational assistance that you need, what is the transformational assistance that you need, and how do you actually make the right choice. Now, this is an element of a far greater presentation. And remember I said that this session was going to be interactive. So if you want to know a bit more about those other 3, I'm afraid you've got to go to my website. There's the report and download it. And we've got an 80-page document that will give you quite detailed information on the things that other coaches don't want you to know, because if you know those answers, you'll then be able to decide and make your own decision. Now, why do people want coaching? That's quite a big slide. It's got lots of small writing on it. And really, what it does is it shows you that the symptom that we talk about in business is often not the reason why people need coaching. The symptom is what creates the pressure in the senior person to want to change how they think, how they behave, and therefore how they influence other people. The benefits that you get from coaching, I decided you didn't really want to hear it from me. I actually would like to show you what Eric Schmidt says, and he's only the CEO of Google, and I decided he was actually a much better person to tell you about the results that he gets from coaching.
Over the years I've received so many different kinds of advice, I don't know where to start. One that comes to mind is to have a coach. Our board member in 2002, John Doerr, said, "You need a coach." And I said, "Well, I don't need a coach. I'm an established CEO. Why would I need a coach? Is something wrong?" He said, no, you need a coach. Everybody needs a coach. So Bill Campbell became my coach and has served Google very well. Every famous athlete, every famous performer has somebody who's a coach. Somebody who can watch what they're doing and say, is that what you really meant? Did you really do that? They can give them perspective. The one thing people are never good at is seeing themselves as others see them. A coach really, really helps.
People that we work with are medium and large organizations. The definition that I would use to describe a medium and large organization are those of 40 people to 1,000. The reason why we start at 40 is we need to have a big enough group of people in the organization for the senior owner to feel that he can't quite get his message out to the people in the troops. So they're business owners, you can call them MDs, CEOs, and of course my speciality is that I really do help organizations to implement their strategy or their business plans more effectively. I also work strongly with HR directors. One of the key issues in the HR industry is HR managers talk about wanting to have more influence and more credibility in organizations and wanting to get onto the senior table. I work with HR directors who A, want to get onto a board, or B, actually want their HR managers to have more impact in the organization and get the line managers to do what they want them to do. I work with IT or CIO members in an organization because they want to get a better return on investment for their new systems. CFOs and finance guys are always aware of which divisions are not working as effectively as they can, and we can go in and have a look at those. And of course, I work with consultants in order to improve their client outcomes. So now it's time for what I'd like you to do, and this is a real request. I will be sending you a link for this video, but if you want to have the report, you go through to Business Breakthrough Coaching. If you don't want to go there, give me a copy of your business card with the report on it, and I will send it to you. And now I'm being trained. If you could go to the Business Breakthrough Coaching channel on YouTube, Won't you go and have a look at this video? There are a whole lot more. And subscribe. Become a friend, I think, is the language. And of course, there's Facebook. We've got a new Facebook page, and I'd really like you to join us on Facebook. So Business Breakthrough Coaching is about thinking differently, behaving differently, and therefore delivering different results. Thank you very much for your time.